Hey, good morning, my friends on Facebook, and especially good morning to my group. Today, I have Miss Shelley Negelow online with me, and she is a coach. She does all kinds of amazing stuff for women. That's her main thing. And sorry, I'm looking over there because I'm looking at notes. Anyway, so she does all kinds of amazing stuff for women. She's been on with me once before, and I think we're going to be doing this a little bit more often. So today, I'm going to ask her a question. She's going to explain a little bit about herself and what she does in her work, because that's a lot of things that I don't all know yet, but eventually I will. So today I'm going to ask her this question, and she's going to answer. Can you really have it all? What does that mean to us as women? So that's just one question I'm going to ask her today, and she's going to help elaborate on that and go from there. So Shelley, you go ahead and tell them a little bit about you and where you are and what you're doing, and then we can get on to that question and
Thank
go
you.
from there.
Thank you so much for having me today. I love doing these shows with you.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
I'm an advocate for women. I've been training women now for 30 years to create a life that they love. And I do that through one-on-one personalized sessions going, towards their personal and professional needs. I also developed and teach the Power of Woman seminar that I've taught all over the United States. So the work with Power of Woman and the personal work really addresses women, how they feel about who they are, becoming more clear, focused, turning the passion back on for their lives, and creating extraordinary results personally and professionally. So that's what it's all about. And I sleep, breathe, and eat this. This is my favorite thing in the whole world, besides my dear husband that I've been married to for many years.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so you asked me a question about, can you really have it all? What does that really mean to us as women? And having it all, for many years, when I was looking for my own life, trying to find answers to who I was as a person, and I went on a very long journey, I had become an executive recruiter. And at that time, that was my former career. At that time, I was very, very successful in that business. I worked for a $250 million company, became number one in the Southeast out of 2,500 people in the organization. And why I tell you that is because I was looking for having it all. And I thought that having it all meant having great success, being number one at everything that I did, making a lot of money, and having the appearance of being, really successful, having a beautiful home, having cars, having wonderful trips, and all of those things. And I'm all for that. But what I realized as I became more and more successful is that it really wasn't about any of that. It really was about how I felt about who I am as a person. And although I kept becoming more and more successful, it didn't give me the quality of satisfaction that I was really after. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, now what do you do now? So when I talk to women about having it all, it really means feeling good with who you are as a person. Because how can you appreciate the quality of life you have no matter what your life is about, no
Mhm.
matter what you focus on, no matter how many results you produce and how many people you support? Because we all support many people and we're really quite great at supporting so many others. So
Mhm.
during that time of that change, I finally discovered within myself how to really create my life with that feeling of being connected with myself, feeling really good in my skin. So I'm talking about having it all, a level of satisfaction that regardless of life circumstances, anyone can experience and get to. And
Wow.
It's a matter of focus and training, because we're all trained to support everybody else, right?
Yeah.
We're all focused
Yes.
on
Moms.
others. We're naturally nurturers, and we're great at it. We're great at doing many, many things and being very successful. And even for those of us who are just starting out in life, you know, finding what you're passionate about, beginning somewhere, just to start to take the steps and take something into action that lights you up as a person, begins the process of discovering what it means to have it all. But if you don't discover what you're passionate about, then what occurs is you just wind up doing the things day to day, being involved in your circumstances, and not really being able to live beyond them. Because your circumstances aren't who you are. They aren't. We just have circumstances. I came up in very difficult circumstances as a child, and I moved well beyond that, in my time as an adult. I determined a long time ago I just wasn't going to recreate the issues that I had in the family. It wasn't going to happen. So all of us have a choice, whether it's conscious or not. And I tell you, if you choose to create a life you love and start to discover what it means for you by taking very specific, focused action, you can indeed experience a quality of life that transcends what we normally experience day to day. Even in the middle of circumstances, it makes no difference, because we're always going to have circumstances.
Yeah. What kind of, like you just said, taken actions, like, can you give me a little bit of examples of what kind of actions a person would take? How do we start to do this?
Well, that's a great question. And of course, you can go at it from many different ways. I teach this very specifically, step by step, in the Power of Woman seminar, and also in the personal work that I do one-on-one with the women. I also train men. But what I would suggest, without even coming to me, is start to look at your life, see what really matters to you. If you had everything taken care of in your life, if everything was handled with your finances, if everything in the family was okay, what would you then be doing to start to create the quality of life that you really want to have? And begin there. And it could be any number of things. It could be multiple things. It can be one specific thing. I just happened to come to that I was really, really extraordinarily excited about working with women. And I connected very deeply with that. And to this day, it is what has lit up my life. So everyone has that natural bent. We're all hardwired to have satisfaction and joy and love in our lives. But if we're in our own way, if we keep trying to control the outcome, which we all do, and if we all try to, is someone trying to send us a message? I heard something light up just then. That's why I stopped. But if we all try to live our lives to try to handle our circumstances, then we're not putting our attention in the right focus. You must move beyond the circumstances and start to consider, what quality of life do I really want to have, and what really could excite me, and start to take action. If I'm interested in being an artist, start to do something about being an artist, if you already have that quality. If you love to engage with community service, start to take some action to do some community service and see what really excites you. It gets you excited about getting out of bed in the morning. So that life isn't just about getting out of bed and you have a hard time getting out of bed. And I know some people have a very hard time getting out of bed to start their day. So why wouldn't we have a joyful life where we fully express who we are? And that's what I'm talking about. Having it all is a quality that we feel from the inside out.
That's sounds like that it's so much, but so very interesting. And really, I mean, I could say, yeah, I'd love to learn more about this. for sure. And, you know, because every day for me, I get up, I do the same thing, go to work, you know, I work online and just like focus on that. And it's like, where's the joy in that? Like there's got to be more to that than us getting up, going to work. And I remember, you know, when my kids were little, is work, you get home, you do laundry, you make dinner, you know, and the whole circle starts over again. And it's like, okay, so what have I done different? Nothing. You know, have I done anything to make it a joyful day or a joyful week or anything?
Exactly.
And I find that myself, that there is no joy. And, you know, God says we need to have joy, right? Like we have to somewhere. Otherwise, what the heck are we doing here besides working?
Exactly.
Really?
Yes, you're exactly right. And you
Right?
know, it's so interesting to me, the women who are the most successful that I've trained over the years, it isn't a function of money. And we all think it's a function of money. The more money that we have, the more satisfied we'll be. Well, I proved that to myself many years ago when I was the executive recruiter. It didn't make me any happier. But see, I've been very self looking at myself for a long time. What worked, what didn't work, trying to clear the stuff from my history that really got in my way. And a lot of people don't go on that kind of journey. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I do is I support people step by step so that they can make those changes pretty quickly. In fact, in Power of Women, they make it in a weekend, but then it
Nice.
has to be practiced in the world. But you're
Yeah.
exactly right. You know, what's the purpose of your life? And we actually discover who we are in the work that I teach. We discover very specifically how to express our passion fully in the world and actually accomplish it. Because
How about
talking
even
about it,
finding it?
finding it, it's
How about
already,
even finding it or knowing really, really what your passion is?
yes,
You know, like I could say, well, I like horses. I like doing stuff with horses and stuff like that. But is that really my passion? I'm not sure. You know, like seriously, like that. I mean, that's a question for me to answer myself. Like, what is my passion? Well, my passion right now are my grandchildren, and they're far away. And you know, like that kind of got taken away from me, which was horrible. Um, but I'm trying to work in a way that I can be with them more often and stuff. But you know, like passion, you know, what is really your passion in life, and like what do you want to do that, you know, makes me happy and have joy? I can sometimes I don't know how to answer that. I seriously don't know how to answer that, right? And I'm sure there's a lot listening that don't know how to answer that because we just do what we have to do because we have to do it. We have no
exactly.
choice, right?
It,
You know?
that's the choice that we have.
Yeah.
But again, there's a way of expanding your vision, your internal vision, your internal compass. Because the truth is, Doris, we already are hardwired to experience full joy and love,
Yeah.
and to create life with passion, to be in our lives and have the things that we have and do the things that we do with great passion. It's a matter of changing the focus and discovering within ourselves how to use that place within ourselves. It's an internal compass, an internal power that we all innately have.
Yeah.
And to be able to tap into it so that we use it to effectively produce the results that we want to produce. And
That's
so
awesome.
for you, it's a matter of starting with, all right, so you love horses, you love your family, you love your grandchildren, you love connecting with women. It's a great joy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And beginning to notice the joyful moments, what really lights you up. And then when you're doing the dishes or you're eating dinner or you're going out with your husband or you're, you know, having fun with the horses or doing whatever you do, notice within yourself that deep sense of satisfaction that really, really is there, but we very, very rarely notice, first of all, because we
Yeah.
get so caught up in the circumstances and everything seems to be not enough or not good enough. or maybe it should be different somehow.
Yeah.
That's not it, though. We're always going to trip ourselves up and not feel good enough if we keep looking in that direction
Mm-hmm.
rather than focusing on, wow, what am I going to do today to create my joy? I am really loved. I'm loving my skin. How can I express it today? How can I support another human being?
Mm-hmm.
And because what happens is as you start to focus in that way, the neurology in the brain actually changes. And the more that you purposefully create the joy, the more you experience joy, literally, physically, in the body. Because after all, we're physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, correct?
Yeah.
So you impact the whole human being, not just what you think about it. Because if it were thinking just by itself, and you've heard me say this, thinking by itself does not create an outcome. You have to have all components of our humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So start somewhere, start to notice, start to observe the times where you really do feel the joy. I love my horses. I love my grandchildren. Yes, they're at a distance, but let's Skype every week. I have a friend that has, right. And I have a friend who has part of her family is in Germany. They live there permanently. So they Skype at least once a week. And then they come back and forth and they see each other once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So she finds a way of being able to balance it out. There's always a way to balance it.
Yeah.
There's always a way so you don't feel like there's something missing. Because it's never better on in somebody else's world. Everybody has the same thing that they deal with in different ways.
Yeah.
They're successful of us and those of us. Yeah.
And sometimes people share and, get it out there and, ask for help or, or some people just hold it all in and then, explode or whatever, right?
That's right.
Because they can't handle what's going on in their lives. So your course that you're talking about,
Power of Woman, yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit how that works and like do you do it virtually like something like this? That you would teach somebody, like you could charge an amount because this is your work, this is your job. That is, say if I invited I'm not sure how we'd do it, we'd have to figure it out. But if somebody were interested in doing, maybe we get 5 or 6 people on Zoom per se and have a course, like do you do that or do you have to be live? How does that work for you?
I have been teaching women live for 30 years. Yeah. I also have done conference calls, and I would be more than happy to entertain doing a class this way so it's visual.
Yeah.
And we could possibly either do the Power of Woman seminar, which is a long experience, or we could do a much shorter class and take it in bits and bites.
Yeah.
We could set it up that way so that women can start to work with themselves at home. And then if they needed personal coaching, we can always do coaching no matter where they are in the world. No difference.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what we'll do is, we'll continue our little sessions here. We're going to, maybe do one next week. And we'll talk a little bit more about what you're doing. And then if we start getting some interest, she's going to have, like, as you can see, her webpage is on the screen. And we're going to put a little more information on the page. And if you guys want to connect with her directly, you can actually go on her webpage and get to connect with her there. And I would say connect with her on Facebook. We're going to put her link there also. And then we'll just go from there. If there is interest, it could be 4 or 5 of us women. It could be a whole bunch. I would love to do that because I would love to learn more myself. Because I think there's a reason that we met. It, it's God always puts the right people together for some reason. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, but He does.
For me to connect with you, very strong.
Yeah. And I believe everybody that I've connected with on this group is the same thing. I know I haven't connected with all of you yet personally, like I have with some of these women, but I've had nothing but a fun time learning and, knowing about all of you from all over the world. And I think, I think this whole thing is, I don't know, I can't even explain it.
It has a special quality, Doris, and I thank you.
There's something about it. There's something about it. And, with all of us women learning on what we're doing, and everybody has a little piece for us to help us get through the day, maybe, or whatever it is. But I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Shelley, for coming on. And maybe we'll do this next week. I think we're going to, I'm going to get myself a little bit more organized, and maybe we'll have a session same time, once a week, and then people can just jump on and stuff. And again, I want to thank you for coming and chatting with us today.
Thank you so much, Doris. It's been truly a pleasure. It is a joy to have you in my life. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity of reaching women in different parts of the world.
Awesome. Okay. Well, bye, everybody. And we shall see you next week. Shelley and I shall see you next week sometime. All right. Talk to you later.